Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Brett Walker, the CEO of Electron Inks. Thank you for joining us, Brett.
Thank you for having me.
Well, for those who aren't familiar with the company, give us the background, the overview of what Electron Inks is all about.
So Electron Inks is a materials company, and specifically we make conductive inks for a number of different applications. In addition to industrial applications like cell phones, et cetera, we do have a consumer product line called Scribe. And what Scribe is literally exactly the way it sounds, a rollerball pen filled with our own non-toxic conductive ink that allows you to make circuits just by scribbling on a piece of paper.
And what's the purpose? What do people do with this?
So you can teach, we make a number of kits based around the pen. So you can teach basic electronics principles of circuit construction, whether that be just making an LED glow or making a buzzer just go beep to get simple feedback mechanisms, all the way to more complicated things like programming an Arduino and then having inputs and outputs on a piece of paper, as well as we have our new kits that we're releasing called builder kits, such as our drone. So you literally can create a drone with a piece of cardboard, hook up the central hub, and then just use your smartphone as the controller, and voila, you're off and flying. So it goes from the simple to the more complex.
That's very cool. So you have a build your own drone kit out. Step us through how a child or adult would use this.
So yeah, it's a great kit. The way it works is it's based off of simple Amazon thickness cardboard, since everyone has an Amazon box floating around, and off the principle that drones are really popular and most people who buy a drone are going to crash it inevitably. So this is a drone that is built to be crashed. So you just create conductive lines on the piece of cardboard and you use that to hook up your motors, as well as the central control hub, which has all the actual smarts inside of it via the microprocessors. And you just draw lines between those two and cut out your pieces of cardboard, and voila, you have a working drone. And if you crash it, no big deal. You can just cut out more cardboard, draw more lines. Or if you want to change the shape or configuration of your drone, that's fine too. You can come up with any sort of wing configuration, et cetera, and reconfigure your drone as well. So it allows you a lot of flexibility when you're building a drone that gives you a lot more creativity in the process than you typically would have.
And this is coming to market very soon, or is it out now?
It is. We are taking pre-orders. We are getting our first large shipment in from our factory this week. So it is happening right now as we speak, basically.
Tell us about pricing.
So it has an MSRP of $99.99, so just around $100, and you get a very high level of feedback for that price. So for a lot of high-end drones that cost a few $100, have a camera, have hover mode, have auto flight mode. This has all this built in. So you use your smartphone to control it. You download the app off the App Store or the Google Play Store if you're using an Android device. And you can record video, you can hit hover, you can also use your phone as the controller and not just with your thumbs, where just like a video game, how you can sort of tilt the phone around to control the drone, it has the same control mechanism as well. So for $100, you get a lot for the price, as well as the ability to reconfigure the drone basically an infinite number of times with just a piece of cardboard.
Yes, that can be a lot of fun. Now, it uses a rechargeable battery and a charger. How much flight time would you typically get on the battery?
So you typically get 3 to 4 minutes off of a very small battery, yes, and it has a built-in, the package comes with a charger as well, so you can charge it up as many times as you'd like, but 3 to 4 minutes is your average flight time.
Now, have you had a chance to play around with it yourself? Tell us what your experience has been.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. I have had a chance to play with the production prototypes, and now that we're getting the first production run trickling in here in our warehouse here in Austin, and it's a whole lot of fun. So I immediately, admittedly, switched over to the accelerometer mode on the controller. So you literally use your phone almost like a gaming style controller, where by tilting your phone, it tilts the drone back and forth, and it makes it extremely intuitive to fly. And yeah, we've been flying it a lot indoors here over people's heads in the office, and had quite a bit of fun. You can fly it around and buzz it around and control it very well, even indoors. So it's been a really fun flight experience.
I was going to say it gives new meaning to the office buzz. tell
Yeah,
us,
exactly.
tell us about some of the other kits that you have available, and you work with some schools too, right?
That's correct. So, in addition to our builder kits, which the drone is included in that, we have more educationally based kits that we call maker kits. And so these range in price from $10 to $100. And basically, these have various different magnetic modules. So, each of our kits that are educational in nature have a steel bookmarker sheet that is included in them that you basically put underneath a piece of paper. And these magnetic modules just click down. And so we have a battery module, obviously, so you can power everything, and then LEDs, switches, dimmers, potentiometers, buzzers, and even input and output sensors and devices you can hook up into an Arduino as well. So all the way from the very simple, teaching very basic circuits by lighting up an LED, all the way to the admittedly far more complicated for those who already know how to prototype with circuits. So that way you can create instantaneous feedback basically on a piece of paper using Arduino for input and output. And so it ranges that whole gamut of input and output devices. And we also have larger kits that we sell specifically to school districts called the Intro Kit and the Everything Kit that come in larger tackle boxes that services classes from 25 to 30. So we sort of range the entire educational gamut of, do you just want an individual student learning or just an individual customer or consumer, all the way up to teaching entire classes and maker spaces how to interact with basic circuits as well as create your own basic circuits.
What's the story behind this? You got into it just a little bit about going from the industrial to creating the circuit scribe line, but what's the story behind the product to be at the very beginning here?
Yes. So in the very beginning, the research group that myself and my colleagues worked on conductive inks. And the problem was most of these were for 3D printing. And so by creating inks for conductive printing, it's actually a very long, arduous cycle, and the feedback cycle is relatively slow. And so we decided it would be best to come up with a way to test the inks in a much quicker format. And so it ended up turning into, let's test the inks on a rollerball pen. And that's where the Circuit Scribe came from. And so electronics was started shortly after my graduate school experience. And then we had a number of interactions with industrial customers. The problem that we had with that, as you can imagine, especially in the consumer mobile market, which is highly competitive, you really can't talk about the work that you do. And so we quickly decided that a really good way to commercialize our product would be to come out with a consumer product that allows us to brand ourselves and allows us to really advertise what we do in a really non-confidential format. And so that's where the Circuit Scribe product line came from. And the rest is history. It's been growing very rapidly, both on the industrial and on the consumer side. But our consumer product admittedly has a very strong footprint that we're proud of, and that's where it came from.
And once people get hold of the kits, they can get refills, so to speak, or new pens?
Yeah, so we say the old adage, we offer free refills that are thrown in when you buy a new pen. The pen is made out of silver, so it's by far the most expensive part of the pen. And so when you run out, you just purchase a new pen.
Very cool. And for more info and maybe to purchase, where do people go?
Go to circuitscribe.com. You'll find everything you need.
Great stuff. Brett Walker, thanks for taking the time with us.
Thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C-Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C-Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C-Crane.